smart, bringing people together, and the Belize Bank, our country, your bank. Open Your Eyes is brought to you by Smart, bringing people together, and the Belize Bank, our Open Your Eyes is brought to you by Smart, bringing people together, and the Belize Bank, our country, your bank.
And welcome to Open Your Eyes.
Start your morning right.
I'm April Martinez.
And I'm Isani Cayetano. Good morning.
Good morning, Belize. Thank you so much for joining us. It is Monday, September 9th. Good morning, Isani.
Good morning, my friend. It's the eve of St. George's Caye Day.
It is.
It is like a Friday Monday.
A lot of persons were wondering if they were actually going to get the holiday today.
Not this year.
No. Just like the 21st and just like the 19th, I believe, the day the holiday falls on the date. We don't change it, we don't move it, even if it's for a long holiday per se. So yes, it is the eve of St. George's Caye Day.
Yes. How are you feeling?
I am good. I am rested. I know you guys are probably very tired still from covering the Carnival.
I made sure that I didn't do anything yesterday. I just stayed at home and just recovered from the previous 2 days.
That was intense. I can only imagine, but I'm very, very happy that the weather held up.
Yeah.
I'm very happy that it was sunshine the entire time.
I think that was the primary concern going into the weekend.
Yeah.
Given all the preparations for the Juve, for the Carnival Road March, and the fact that Friday morning
it was storming.
All that water across Belize City.
Yeah.
That was a major concern as to what the fate of the road march would have been like. But hey, like you've mentioned, right? Yeah. It held up.
It held up.
Saturday
it was beautiful.
Was pretty sunny and just cool enough.
Yeah.
Can't complain.
I mean, we can get into what's buzzing right now and talk about, I give a little bit of a post-mortem of the Carnival Road March of 2024.
Yes. It was quite an interesting experience this time around, given the change of route along the Marine Parade from Memorial Park all the way to the Marion Jones.
Yes.
And I'll tell you this, right? It's a shorter direction, right? But nonetheless, I think quite a number of people would have had some opinions in terms of this entire new experience, right?
Yeah.
But here we go. As short as it may be, relatively speaking, it's still a good enough distance to walk.
It is.
I say that because initially, when we caught the beginning of the parade from Memorial Park, I said, okay, you know what? In terms of the momentum, I felt as though it was off to a kind of slow start.
Yeah.
And that energy and the anticipation of people who would have lined both sides of the route, I said, okay, I'll take a walk and follow this progression.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, I think the swell of people would have been closer to BTL Park and onwards to the end of the parade. And you can just feel that energy, right? And I spoke with a couple of people along the way.
Yeah.
And one of those individuals was the acting commissioner of police.
Okay.
Yes, Dr. Rosado.
Right.
In the commissioner's
Preparation
absence, he
yeah.
held over and he pretty much led the way in terms of the parade. And it happened and it went without incident.
I was very, very proud of that.
Yes,
yeah.
it went without incident. So, from all appearances, it was well contained in terms of the citizen security aspect, ensuring that everybody who was out there was safe.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But as I'm mentioning to you, April, when I stood there and I watched it closer towards the end of the parade, I said, okay, well, this will take some getting used to. I mean, it's the first time we're using
this road.
Right? So it'll take some getting used to. But when you look at the end of the parade closer to Marion Jones and the amount of people who were behind the trucks jumping up, I said, okay, yeah, we have something here in terms of
it was crazy.
In terms of that energy.
I watched, I was getting ready, I think I got the times mixed up, so I put on Channel 5 like around 1 o'clock, and I saw the recap of the 2008 Carnival that was done by you all. It was like a flashback. And then it went into the actual Carnival events, and it looked like it was taking a little bit of time to pick up. You guys started from the Memorial Park going in, but I really enjoyed watching the kids. I saw Paul do some interviews talking to some of the children, and it was really nice to see them out there. They were hyped up, they were ready, and they came. And I think that for them, I appreciated the shorter route. Because yes, like you said, regardless of anything, it's still a lot of people. It still takes time. You're out in the hot sun and everything. But I think for them, it was an easier road to manage, and they were out there. There was a lot of kids out there in the
we had
competing
a considerable amount of floats as well that were in the parade.
Indeed.
You know, aside from the marching band, aside from the carnival bands that were participating, you also had other floats in there. And I think Carnival always draws its own controversy when it comes to certain aspects of this entire experience, right? And I saw someone post in respect of a reveler pretty much grinding on a minor.
I saw that.
And, you know, we've always had this conversation about the hypersexuality that comes along with Carnival and Juve and all of these things. And it's very much part of our culture. It's part of this whole Caribbean, to some extent, perhaps an African experience, right? But to what extent do we, as parents, as adults, you know, condone certain activities in the grand scheme of the whole Carnival thing? That becomes a question.
I agree. I saw it, and I was like, I said it right then and there, right before we were talking about how it kind of Carnival went without any kind of hiccups and ruckus and issues, which was great. And
from a safety perspective.
Yes. And then I did see that video, and I said to myself, if it was a older gentleman and a young girl, we would be up in arms, right? And the fact that it was a young boy and an older woman, it's like we were hyping it up, almost like we're proud of him in a sense, and it was a little disturbing because that kind of breeds a certain generation of men and women in our society, right? So looking at that, keep it clean. You could bump and grind all you want. Keep it clean to a certain degree. That's my philosophy.
Just don't involve kids.
I mean. I mean, like, and I said it with the kids that are revelers and so forth, taking place in the actual bands and so forth, that they're keeping it clean. They're dancing in their respective junior bands. They're at a certain age. They're wearing clothing that is acceptable. That to me is involving the kids while also keeping it clean for them. Right? So I don't know where we miss certain marks in this society, Isani.
I'm laughing to myself because, again, this is all a matter of perspective, right?
Yeah.
While we may frown on the whole idea of that kind of an engagement, other people perhaps find it just fine, and they take it as part of the whole
Nothing is
Carnival
wrong.
experience. But I mean, you're right. It has to do with the way we're raising our children and the kind of exposure we're giving our children in terms of these kinds of activities. Like I said, if it's all adults and they're completely consensual doing that as part of the entire celebration of Carnival, that's fine. When you have kids, you know, and seeing that or participating in that, well, that's another thing. And I'm not a moral police or what have you. So I'm just sharing my little 2 cents on that.
But I will say something else that I saw at the carnival that did bring me a level of joy, if you would. There was, I think, a group of friends, 2 guys. One was pushing the other in his wheelchair, and he was in his full get up and everything, and he just looked like he was having a blast. Even though he was bound into a wheelchair, his friend was pushing him down the route and everything. And hey, to me, that is what I found to be extremely inclusive. And you know what? Like I say, if we not stop the reggae jam, neither will a broken leg, right?
Yeah. But while we continue our coverage of the celebration activities in our What's Buzzing segment this morning, I'm also looking forward to tonight.
Yes.
At the Lord Rayburn Plaza, where there will be this massive concert event.
Living Legends.
Yes, the Living Legends concert series that goes down tonight, and Chico Ramos is going to be taking the stage, right? So that's going to be something that I'm interested in seeing. I'm sort of excited for that, only because there's a generation of us who grew up on Belizean music circa 1990 all the way through perhaps to 97. I would call that the golden era of Belizean music, right? You would have had at that time Brother David in his prime, you have Chico Ramos, Mohabub, Maime, all of these Belizean talents, and the Palacio as well. All of these Belizean talents were at the pinnacle. You know, they're young and vibrant, and the music sort of reflected that. But that's how I became familiar with Chico Ramos's music. Much the same way I was familiar with Lord Rayburn's music from an early age. But to see them take the stage at this point, and to see them being recognized as Belizean legends in music, that's a wonderful thing.
I have to agree, Sani, and it seems like I said, September celebrations kind of kicked off from August, and there were so many different aspects of Belizean culture that were being celebrated all through August into September. I believe there was a kickoff of the Belize Music Project a few weeks ago. Last week there was the Culture and Creative Excellence Award. So it seems to me anyway that we are recognizing our nation builders while they're alive. Right, we celebrate them, we give them their flowers while they're here. I think we've learned our lessons from like Lila Vernon passing away, Mr. Peters passing away, and the Palacio passing away, and not giving them their flowers when they were alive. So I'm very happy to see that we will be celebrating Chico Ramos tonight at the Living Legends concert at the Lord Rayburn Plaza, kind of leading into tomorrow's events for the 10th.
I'll go on a limb and say this as not from a political point of view, just from the perspective of a Belizean who has made certain observations and what have you, right? I think in much the same way I would have made the same observations many years ago, that the People's United Party, whenever they're in government, focus and emphasize heavily on recognizing Belizeans from a cultural point of view.
Agreed.
I have to give them that hands down.
Agreed.
And it's that feeling once again where with the Minister of Culture and of course the Minister of Tourism, because in Belize,
it's a hand in hand.
They go together hand in glove, right? They're focused on promoting Belize and its people from a cultural viewpoint. Excellent. And you feel that when we talk about recognizing Belizean legends, right? it's part of that whole dynamic.
Yeah.
And you can't, it's very difficult to dismiss that. Like if you're someone who appreciates culture and how societies create culture and what have you, you have to be able to acknowledge that.
Agreed, Isani. And just to wrap up our What's Buzzing this morning, wrapping up a little bit somber, we would like to discuss a tragic accident that occurred yesterday, not early, but I think at around 10 a.m. There was another motorbike accident. And I think that we've been talking about these accidents for quite some time now. I know that you've done various advertisements on safety measures and so forth, and I think the MOU that was signed with
courts and
Belize City Council and so on. So despite of all of these things, it just seems that we're still continuously having these conversations. And so yesterday at around 10 a.m. there was another motorcycle accident with a truck that took away the life of Miss Tamisha Jael. And she and her brother were on that motorbike, and she lost her life. I believe her brother is still in the hospital in critical condition. And Tamisha Jael was a Galen graduate. She was the recipient of the Ariel Rosado Scholarship, and her birthday was on Saturday. She just turned 19.
It's a tragic circumstance.
Yes. And
you can't underscore, or overemphasize, if you will, the need for safety while we're traversing these roads, streets, highways, whatever thoroughfares you're on. And it's a conversation that we can't seem to get away from, given the statistics that we're seeing in terms of fatal motorcycle accidents, right? It's a very sobering figure in terms of where we are as commuters or as motorists. When you look at the number of persons who have lost their lives from the beginning of this year to this point so far, only from motorcycle mishaps, right? It's alarming.
It's becoming, I think that every time I see one now, and because I'm a little bit more aware based on what we've been talking about in the news and here on OIE, every time I see a motorist without a helmet or an overloaded motorcycle, you can't seem but get a little bit upset, because we keep having these conversations. It's not like we're not advertising it in the headlines, and we're not the only media house that does it. We have these MOUs that are being signed. We have all of these ads by the traffic department. I'm not sure what it's going to take for us to take it seriously. So we just like to send our condolences to the Jael family. We hope that her brother makes it out of the emergency room, and rest in peace, Tamisha. She was very young. I think that she was full of life. She was a vet tech student. She volunteered with several groups, including like the wildlife sanctuaries and so forth, because that was her passion, right? So she was a very influential young girl for to be at such an age and to have her life taken so soon. We send our condolences to her family and to her Galen family as well. But Isani, we are wrapping up our What's Buzzing, and of course what we do here every Monday, apart from What's Buzzing, is we take a little closer eye on the news.
So a House meeting has been called for this Friday.
Yes.
It will be the first parliamentary session since the renovations began at the National Assembly building in Belmopan. And so we're taking it to the George Price Center for Peace.
Have you been in already to see it before?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
We don't have any footage just yet in terms of what that design and the configuration of that space would be to accommodate parliamentary sessions, right? So that will be interesting to see on Friday. But this is what is equally interesting in terms of our look ahead as to what would likely take place. When you consider the developments within the UDP last week, on one day, which was last Wednesday, you had the press conference that was held by the Alliance for Democracy, and they have put forward their position. The following day, there was a statement put out by the United Democratic Party that essentially said, okay, this is our formal position that these four individuals who formed the Alliance for Democracy, including Patrick Faber, Tracy Panton, John Saldivar, and Beverly Williams, have been effectively ejected or expelled from the party, right? But in the case of Patrick Faber and Tracy Panton, they remain elected area representatives under the UDP umbrella, right? Notwithstanding this expulsion, they remain elected area reps. And so they too do have their seats in the House.
Yep.
And when you look at what I'm saying will be the configuration of that new space that they will be occupying until the renovation works are completed, the question was being asked, okay, so where exactly will they
sit?
Yeah, where exactly will they sit? And from the area representatives that we've spoken to in our newscast sometime last week, who are not necessarily UDP, they are the PUP area reps who share the same space. They have sort of given their responses to it, but I'm thinking that the ultimate decision where that is concerned lies with the Speaker of the House of Representatives, right? We haven't really heard from her. I don't know how big of a deal it probably is. I'm not quite certain. But it's an interesting thing that we'll be watching, right? On Friday, we had the Deputy Chair and the National Campaign Manager for the United Democratic Party doing their media rounds. And so they stopped by. I had a chance to interview them both to get a feel from them as to what's been taking place within the party. From a different point of view, you would readily recall that these two individuals, Alberta August and Lindsay Garbott, have been fairly quiet before now regarding the happenings within the party. It was primarily Cheyenne Barrow as the party leader, and of course Tracy, Patrick, John, and Bev from the Alliance for Democracy. And in the case of Alberta August and Lindsay Garbott, they pretty much came out in defense of Cheyenne Barrow's leadership, right? And they, from what they've shared with me and from what I've also seen in the other interviews that were conducted elsewhere, they are saying, look, well, we were initially completely against Cheyenne's leadership of the party, hence the reason we threw our support behind Tracy. But according to them, she lost fair and square, and in the intervening time, they have sort of shifted their allegiance and have decided to support Mr. Barrow instead. Now, all of that is interesting if you look at what's to take place on Friday, right? Because if the three individuals we're talking about here are at odds with each other, 2 versus 1, if you look at what's taking place in the House, where they are concerned. And at this point, those 3 more often than not are present at the House meetings.
That's
right?
very true.
You could perhaps count the amount of times Hugo Pat has been there.
Sister B is nowhere to be
She's
found.
perennially absent, right? So it's going to be an interesting thing, to say the least. I'm looking forward to see how that plays out. But I'm also looking forward to see how that plays into the broader national discourse, because that's the purpose of having House meetings, to be able to discuss certain issues that affect us all as Belizeans. So we'll see what their way in will be like, given these particular
And this
factors.
is why we kept saying over and over, you have to have a strong opposition, because now look at what might or might not take place this Friday. Will they be allowed to sit? What would happen if they're not? If Mr. Pat does not show up, it would only be Shine at the other end of the aisle, and that is not, to me, that is not a debate. That is not a discourse, a leveled conversation per se. Even with the four of them, it's not a leveled conversation, but at least you have some other opinion other than the leader of the opposition there. So this is going to be an interesting House meeting. I do agree with you that perhaps we'll hear from the Speaker of the House on the matter before. Hopefully that would be better. But I think that it's Monday. By Thursday, by Wednesday, we will see other unveilings happening. Tomorrow is a holiday, so I'm not sure what might take place. But by Wednesday, Thursday, I'm sure we'll be hearing more about this situation, because you're right, they're elected. The people elected them to represent them in the House. So who has the right to tell them that they're not allowed to be there?
So one other thing regarding this conversation that we're having, it will also be the first House meeting that we have a new or an acting clerk of the National Assembly. The last House meeting was led by Eddie Webster in his former capacity. He has since retired, right? So a new person is at the helm of taking care of all the...
So there's going to be a lot of new happenings this House meeting, a new clerk, a new space, and hopefully we'll have at least more than one opposition there representing.
Well, that's yet to be seen. But yes, we'll conclude our Eye on the News with that this morning. Certainly details of these stories and more you'll be able to catch live on 5 at 6 p.m. But that does it for our Eye on the News.
Moving into our eye opener taken from dailyom.com, it goes like this. Breaking free from trauma bonds is not a solitary journey. It is a path where seeking and accepting help are signs of strength. Trauma bonds often create invisible chains that tie us to people and experiences that wound our emotional and psychological well-being. These bonds, forged through intense emotional experiences, can be difficult to break. Yet doing so is critical to reclaiming our sense of self and purpose. The journey of healing begins with recognizing the patterns that perpetuate these bonds and making a conscious decision to step away from these relationships and situations. Starting the process of breaking trauma bonds requires a commitment to self-awareness and self-care. It involves gaining perspective on the fears and insecurities that keep us stuck in cycles of trauma and taking deliberate steps to address and overcome them. Engaging in practices such as meditation, journaling, and therapy can provide the tools needed to navigate through the emotional complexities and foster a deeper understanding of oneself. By nurturing our inner world, we can build resilience and empower ourselves to make healthier choices. As we move toward healing, it's essential to cultivate an environment that supports our growth and well-being. Surrounding ourselves with supportive individuals, seeking professional guidance when necessary, and engaging in activities that bring joy and fulfillment can aid in this recovery process. Breaking free from trauma bonds is not a solitary journey. It is a path where seeking and accepting help are signs of strength. With persistence and compassion for ourselves, we can move past the shadows of our past and step into a future filled with hope, balance, and purpose.
This is an eye-opener that I recently opined on, but breaking trauma bonds, right? And the journey of healing, the two go together.
Yeah.
But one is strongly dependent on the other, right? Breaking trauma bonds. So we've all had traumatic experiences one way or the other, perhaps things that we went through in our childhood, things that we're probably grappling with now from either an emotional or a psychological point of view that is traumatic.
Yes.
So how do we break that, and how do we begin the process of healing? But I can tell you this from a man's point of view, right? It's oftentimes difficult for us men to open up about the things that are bothering us, right? Be it mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, whatever it may be, sometimes even physical, right? So we have a hard time opening up and actually sharing the things that, you know, are the obstacles that are before us. And so those obstacles figuratively represent the trauma, right? So how do we now be able to address it and be able to meaningfully do so, and then begin the process of healing? That's the most challenging part for most men. If you talk to us, it's like, okay, you know what? We're so insular about how we feel that it's difficult for us to open up.
Or even accept that there's a problem.
There are a few of us who could, you know, put it all on the table. I'm one of them, thankfully, that I'm able to just, you know, put it out there. So it's easier for me to be able to address certain traumatic experiences that I've had to live through. But on the other side of it, dealing with the healing, you know, once you've been able to address the issue and then learn from it and the takeaway, that's a journey altogether by itself, something that is rewarding once you're able to successfully do so. But as I mentioned, the trauma bond and breaking that is often the greatest hurdle to overcome.
It is, and there are a lot of steps that you have to take in order to get to a place of comfort. But I do also want to stress, and I'll end the eye-opener conversation with this, that when you are on your journey of breaking your trauma bonds, you're doing that for yourself. Yes, you might have to perhaps kind of come face to face with persons that have created those traumatic experiences for you. But whether or not they accept the trauma that they've inflicted on you or the situation at all, just remember that at the end of the day, these steps are your healing journeys and that you understand what is taking place. And I mean, we could have an entire segment of just this eye-opener alone and talking about trauma, but we have to wrap it up for this morning. So wherever you are this morning, we hope that you are healing and you're accepting these traumatic experiences as they come along and hopefully breaking those bonds. Moving on into our weather forecast, giving us that update is the folks at the National Meteorological Service.
Good morning. Relatively moist and unstable conditions prevail, and during the next 24 to 48 hours, skies will be cloudy at times, and a few showers and isolated thunderstorms will affect areas around the country. Winds today along the coast and over the open seas will blow from the east and southeast at 10 to 20 knots, and seas will be moderate. Low tides will occur at 8:17 this morning and 7:17 tonight. High tides follow at 2:16 this afternoon and 1:27 tomorrow morning. Temperatures this afternoon will peak at 78 Fahrenheit up in the Maya Mountains, 88 along the coast, and 92 inland. The moon will rise at 10:55 this morning, followed by sunset at 5:59 this evening. In the sargassum forecast, latest satellite imagery show a slight increase in sargassum over the area. However, the impacts are expected to remain generally minimal during the next few days. And in the tropical weather update at 3 o'clock this morning, potential tropical cyclone 6 was located near 22.2 north, 94.8 west, or about 295 miles southeast of the mouth of the Rio Grande. It had maximum sustained winds of 50 miles per hour and was moving north-northwest at 5 miles per hour. And that's the latest from the Belize Weather Bureau. Do have a pleasant day.
All right. looks like we'll be having some stable weather for this week at least. But moving on into our show lineup, as Sani and I have been mentioning, today is the eve of our St. George's Caye Day celebration, which is on the 10th tomorrow. So our first conversation, will be talking to Mr. John Cyril, and he is the part of the chairman of the St. George's Caye Village Council, to talk to us about the history and the developments of St. George's Caye Day.
Our second conversation this morning is with our friends from the Belize City Council. They have a calendar of events for September, and they will be here with us to discuss what activities we can look forward to from CITCO.
And wrapping up our morning show this morning, it's all about BTB's World Tourism Day. You don't want to miss these conversations, but we do got to take the break, and we'll be back with St. George's Caye Day history and its progress. Don't go away.
Lincoln Forest, and I work at UMall. 100% I will recommend Belize Bank mobile banking to everyone because it saves time, money, and gas price, because gas price is high right now. Belize Bank mobile banking just make life easier.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you've been waiting for. In this corner, we have the masters of limitless power and unbeatable connections, pioneers of 4G LTE in Belize. It's the undefeated champion, Smart. And in the other corner, struggling to keep up, it's the other guy. Fight! Of getting blow after blow from a plan with the other guys? It's time to tap out and join the winning postpaid plan provider. Smart's postpaid plans are a total knockout to the competition, and they have once again powered up their postpaid plans. Sign up for one of Smart's boosted postpaid power plans today and experience the victory of superior service. Smart, bringing people together.
Wake up! Now which cheese you think you may eat all the while? Caye cheese with the blue rooster on the label is the traditional and the real deal. The original Dutch, redback or hard cheese in a Belize. Be aware! Check your label and make sure it is in English and for the Belize market. Caye cheese with the blue rooster. The real deal. Santiago Castillo Limited, supporting and building our Belizean community for 95 years and counting.
Caye Edam Dutch cheese, aged and tropicalized, the best formula for the Belize market, exclusively distributed by Santiago Castillo Limited.
unwrap the joy of crystal clear picture and sound from Iowa, the brand that offers you affordability and exceptional quality. Iowa has a wide range of exceptional products to choose from, such as TVs, speakers, headphones, home appliances, and much more at affordable prices that won't break the bank. Enhance your audio-visual entertainment experience with Iowa, and for your convenience, parts are readily available in country for hassle-free maintenance. You can find Iowa products at your local electronics store countrywide. Choose Iowa, the best in home entertainment and household appliances.
I'm connected. Yo.
I'm connected.
We're connected.
Create the perfect broadband bundle that fits your style with Smart Connect. With the Junior Bundle, get 50% off your national calls and up to 6 gigabytes of data at no extra cost. Get postpaid added on for an additional cost of only $25 with the Prime Bundle. Stay connected with unlimited smart-to-smart calls plus 6,300 megabytes of data and free international minutes. For the family, get the Binge Watchers bundle with Netflix add-on for only $28.13 more. This bundle gives you 4 profiles with unlimited streaming on multiple devices. Visit a showroom near you to sign up and personalize your own bundle combination with Smart Connect. Smart, bringing people together.
And welcome back. For our first segment this morning, we have been joined by John Searle. He is the chair of St. George's Caye, and he's here to talk to us a bit about the history of St. George's Caye, the day itself, and everything that we need to know about this particular island just off the coast of the city. Good morning,
Good morning,
Mr. Searle.
Mr.
Good morning, good morning.
How's it going?
Good, kind of early for me. But yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah.
So, I'm understanding that you have a wealth of knowledge on the history of this little island called St. George's Caye, and perhaps its significance to the September celebrations and what have you. Let's begin first of all by talking about what St. George's Caye Day means for you as someone who is an islander, so to speak.
Yeah, so St. George's Caye is near and dear to my heart, and I've been out there all my life pretty much. My connections go back, for me personally, 60-something years, and before that my mother used to go out there as a child.
Wow.
So my connection goes way back, and so I'm certainly not a historian or a political scientist. I am an aficionado of Belizean history, and especially where it pertains to St. George's Caye. And so Tuesday is going to be the 226th anniversary of the Battle of St. George's Caye. And so as the chairman out there, we've organized a small little ceremony on Tuesday, and so we'll have a few presentations out there, and we celebrate the day ourselves out there.
You are the chair of the, because for those of you that don't know, St. George's Caye is a village, right? It's considered a village. There's a village council. Mr. Searle is the chair of that council. When you provide historical tours, because this is something that I know that you do, you have an entire conversation with the people that you bring to the island before you even start the tour. And it's more of like a homage to the settlements and the foundations that made St. George's Caye what it is. Tell us about how you collected this data and why it's so fascinating to you.
Well, if you stay around for 62 years, you get a lot of information.
Very true. Very, very true.
But you're right. As the chairman out there, I've been involved in the archaeology project. We've had an archaeology project on the island from 2009 to 2019. Currently, we have an underwater archaeology project with the University of Rhode Island. And so
like I say, as an aficionado of Belizean history, especially with St. George's Caye, I've collected a lot of stuff, and together with my wife, we've put together a whole website, stgeorgescaybelize.org. So anybody want to know anything about St. George's Caye, just go visit that website. And yeah, so it's just bits and pieces here and there that I've put together. With regards to our tour, I do have like my wife says I'm long-winded, so sometimes it goes for about an hour, but it starts all the way from the significance of the island, why they chose the island, the origin of the name of Belize, the origin of the name of the island, because St. George's Caye is not the original name.
So let's get into a little bit of that in terms of giving us that part of the history, the naming of the island, and perhaps the various changes over the years.
Oh, so what we did, we went to all of the old maps that we could find, and all the way into late 1600s, early 1700s, it was known as Cayo Cocina, and then Cayo Casina, and anybody that speaks Spanish knows that cocina is kitchen, kitchen key, so some people used to say kitchen key. But we also did some research and found out that Cayo Casina, Casina is an obsolete Spanish word that means cottage.
Okay.
So it could well be that as the people, the sailors are going by, they notice a little island with a cottage and then they call it Cayo Casina. But it's not until after 1765, when we signed Burnaby's Code in April of 1765, that we consistently begin to see the name St. George's Caye. And that's because St. George is the patron saint of England. And so you see them starting to assert their claim for the island.
Why did they choose St. George's Caye to settle?
Well, it has to do with the strategic location, because as you know, we have 300 islands that parallel the coast of Belize. So why pick St. George's Caye? St. George's Caye was important because of its location. It's a crescent shape, about half a mile long in crescent shape. It's located right in front of the largest natural opening in the Belize Barrier Reef. Okay, so from there we can protect our harbor, all right? It's also only 9 miles away from the mouth of the Belize River, all right, by Hullover. And as you know, in those days, the Belize River is the highway to everything. And so all the logging works, all the oldest villages, all of that's located up the Belize River. So from there, I can protect my harbor. I can also protect my business and my logging works. And the other thing is the crescent shape that it has allows for a shallow, calm leeward side. And on that side there, they had a careening ground. And so if you don't know what the careening ground is, like today you can just lift the boat out of the water and do all the repairs on the bottom. In those days, they didn't have those facilities. So they would basically run the boat right up into the shallow water, put a rope on the top of the mast, and everybody pull on one side. So then the boat careens over to one side, exposes half the bottom. Now you can replace planks, do any caulking you want, any kind of copper plating, whatever you want to do on that side. When you're done, release it, careen it over to the other side, and then do the repairs over there. So for those 3 reasons, I believe, is why we have, that they chose St. George's Caye.
It was very tactical.
Yes.
Let's go back a bit, Johnny, to where you were mentioning the archaeological work that was taking place there between 2009 and 2019.
Yeah.
What would you say perhaps are some of the artifacts or some of the discoveries that would have really stood out in your opinion, given the history of the island and what it means to the country of Belize now?
Yeah, well, you should have asked me for some pictures, because there are lots of pictures. But so Dr. Garber and Dr. Lauren Sullivan, Dr. Garber from Texas State University, Dr. Sullivan from, I think it's Boston University, ECOMAR, the Institute of Archaeology, the St. George's Caye Village Council, we all collaborated on this project. And so they did surveys over the entire island, but mostly they concentrated in the cemetery. One of the things we were looking for was for Thomas Potts' sarcophagus. As a kid, that was in a channel because Hurricane Hattie cut a channel basically right through the cemetery, and so that was in the water. We were unable to find that. But in the back of the cemetery, we found a whole lot of military artifacts. A lot of military artifacts from the West India Regiment, 5th West India Regiment, the 7th West India Regiment, probably a couple others. We found some coins. We found a shako plate. The shako plate was the big plate on the hat of the uniform for the West India Regiment. We found a lot of human remains. They were all scattered, and some of them were still in graves, but a lot of them were scattered. That's why today, if you go to the cemetery, you don't see any other brick tombs.
Yeah.
Everything was all scattered. Besides that, just after 1961, they started to introduce lobster as a commercial product. So all the fishermen used to go to the cemetery and pick up the bricks and put them in the trap to weigh down the trap.
Yeah.
We found a lot of clay pipes. We found a lot of other military artifacts, parts of old muskets, lots of rum bottles. What do soldiers do when they're not doing military exercise?
Yeah.
They drink, smoke, and gamble. We found artifacts that represent all of those activities. And we found a lot of Spanish coins, a few Spanish coins.
Okay.
And but my personal favorite, we opened up a grave and we found the tops of 3 rum bottles. These are English black glass bottles. And they usually have a little string lip on there that would, like how you have a champagne bottle. So the cork was in there, and then they'd put a string over it and hold the cork in there so it can't pop out. Well, we found the tops of these bottles still with the cork in there, 3 of them in this guy's grave. Now that indicates to me that this guy got a hell of a send-off.
Yeah.
Right? 3 guys. Yeah, they're standing by the graveside. They can't even be bothered to pull the cork out. They just take the cutlass, knock the top off, and knock off 3 bottles of rum for this guy. You know, so that's my personal favorite. Those are the things that I like, the connections that you can make.
Yeah.
You know?
But it seems like with all of these different artifacts and so forth, it was St. George's Caye was a clear military fort. It had settlers that did their mundane daily life, because I'm sure that's where there was a lot of activities taking place between their connections with mainland Belize and St. George's Caye, but that was the capital at the time, right?
Yes.
So all of these artifacts and so forth, when we're talking about St. George's Caye Day, were there any signs of what could have taken place in 1798?
Well, we do have a cannon on our beach. There are actually 2 cannons on the island. One's a British 18-pounder, which was found on the island. It fired a cannonball 18 pounds in weight, had a range of about 3 miles. Yes, there we go. That's our 18-pounder. Had a range of about 3 miles. Okay. Now, I don't know how accurate, but I certainly would not want to be out beyond the reef with 18-pound cannonballs whizzing by, right?
Right.
Yeah.
We have another little cannon, which is a 6-pound Saker, that was found around by the barracks when they were putting in the sewer system. And so now that is mounted out on St. George's Caye as well. But yeah, so there's a lot of connections there. You mentioned other connections with rather mundane life on the island. St. George's Caye, if you go there, you'll find docks that have crawls on the end. Well, those crawls were originally turtle corrals.
Okay.
Because the abundance of turtles in this area was tremendous. And in order to take fresh meat on the ship going back to England, they would capture turtles and pin the flippers, and a sea turtle could actually survive about 2 weeks out of the water. Okay? And so it was a way of taking back fresh meat, but it also gave rise to another costume jewelry industry, because in Europe they started to use the shells and start to make hair combs and brooches for ladies and things, and they call it tortoise shell jewelry, when in fact it was actually from the sea turtle.
Wow. So all of the resources, like we only could think about logwood and mahogany as those sources that were being extracted and taken to Europe, but there were other resources as well.
Sure, turtling was probably Belize's original fishery product. Now today we look at lobster and conch and finfish and so, but turtles were probably the first.
Let's touch on a somewhat controversial topic here.
Here we go.
You knew it was coming.
In terms of the political and historic view of the Battle of St. George's Caye,
Yeah.
September 10th, 1798.
Yeah.
Some people have written it off as a mere skirmish. Some people say it never did happen. And some people stand by it as perhaps where the actual birth of the nation goes back to. What are your positions, or what is your take on that?
Well, first of all, the people that push that narrative that the battle never happened, or that it was just a little skirmish or something, they're doing a disservice to the people and the country of Belize.
Okay.
The battle clearly happened. There are records in the British records, and we even have the previous government did a study with UB and the Archives Department where they went to the archives in Quintana Roo to research the Spanish records. And the Spanish records are there as well, and they corroborate the exact same thing that happened between the British and the Spanish on September 1798. All right? So, I believe that it is the birth of the nation. That's where we come from. Without the Battle of St. George's Caye, or even before that, without the Flowers Bank 14, from June 1st, 1797, that meeting that they held, when only by a slim margin of only 14 votes, the settlers decided that they would stay and defend the settlement. That has a direct connection to the Battle of St. George's Caye.
Yeah.
Yes.
So without that meeting and without the Battle of St. George's Caye, then the British settlers would have fled from here and gone to Jamaica, because by that time in 1787 they had given up rights to the Mosquito Coast and Roatan and all of that. So they had no place to run.
So
they decided by a slim margin of 14 votes that they were going to stay. Now there was a large faction there that did not want to stay and defend, because in 1779, not long before the battle, Spain had done a surprise attack on St. George's Caye and captured over 300 people, marched them to Merida, and then took them to Cuba and imprisoned them for 3 years. So now, 15, 20 years later, I am here and they say, oh, the Spanish are going to come, and now they've got 31 boats and 2,500 troops. I don't want to be captured and taken away, taken to Cuba again. So that faction is saying, no, man, I think we need to run. But the people that came from Black River and Mosquito Coast and from Roatan, they were here. They already got run out and displaced from where they were. They decided, no, man, we're going to stay and defend, and thank God for that. That has led to us being the only English-speaking country in Central America. That has led to us having a form of government that has kept us out of civil war and conflict like the whole rest of Central America. All right, it has given us a justice system that is common law, British common law. It has led to a lot of things. So everybody is really entitled to their own opinion and their own
historical
interpretation of what happened, right?
Yeah.
But you're not entitled to the facts. The facts are the facts.
What do you say to people that, when we're talking about the research and so forth, discussing the actual battle and celebrating it until 100 years later? It kind of gives you that Trojan War feel of, I'm not sure if it happened because we started to talk about it like an entire century afterwards. So do we talk about how distorted those historical interpretations could be?
Well, like, as I mentioned, I'm not a historian and I'm not a political scientist. So why did they wait 100 years before they actually start to celebrate it? I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
well, some would argue that it's never too late to acknowledge something that happened in the historical timeline, right?
Well, that's true. Everybody got their opinion, you know. But I don't know why they waited 100 years before they actually started to have a big celebration. But certainly the battle occurred. It also represents the last time that Spain ever attempted any sort of military action to remove the British settlers from here. It didn't mean that the claim went away. We still got the claim. It's now at The Hague, right?
Yeah.
We still have that claim hanging over us, and hopefully it gets sorted in the not too distant future. But it's the last military action before by Spain.
So why, as somebody that perhaps might disagree with the events of St. George's Caye, if it took place or it didn't take place. Why should Belize be proud to celebrate this day?
Well, as I say, I think it goes back to the birth of our nation. That's where we come from. All right? And so why not celebrate?
I think my subsequent question has been the clear politicization of the day itself in terms of which administration is in office and how it is commemorated. Yeah. It's
different.
Very apparent that it's
night
treated
and day.
differently. Yes,
and that is very unfortunate. As I mentioned, the people that politicize this event are doing a disservice to the people of Belize, especially the young children. You need to know your history. You need to know where you come from to know where you're going. All right? And last year I listened to the speech. I might get in trouble for this, but I listened to the speech of the mayor and of the Minister of Culture on St. George's Caye Day. And in both instances, not once did they mention the Battle of St. George's Caye. Not once. And we're celebrating the anniversary of the Battle of St. George's Caye. I think it's wrong. I mean, I look at it, history is like family. You might have a drunken uncle that nobody in the family is too fond of. But come Christmas time, there's a seat at the table for him, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right? Why see the man coming again? Oh man, but there the seat, they're a family.
Yeah.
If you put the family tree, you got to include him in the family tree.
Yeah.
You have to know where you come from. You have so it's like that. So why not celebrate the Battle of St. George's Caye? It's part of our history.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that when it comes to certain opinions and I think Isani and I had this conversation last year, and we were kind of talking about foundations of Belizean society. We just celebrated Emancipation Day. We're going into September celebrations and so forth. And I think with St. George's Caye Day, it has this colonial feel to it, right? So whether or not you don't like the foundation of that colonial feel, you're right, the day happened. We have to
What's wrong with the colonial feel?
Well, sir.
What's wrong with the colonial feel? It's part of our history.
It is part of our history, but a lot of
you
people
go to
suffered
Jamaica
under
and
the
you see all of the
colonial
colonial
feel.
buildings, or you go to any other English-speaking former colony and you see all of the colonial buildings. They use them as tourist attractions. They don't deny it.
Right.
They might have an opinion that said, boy, we really don't want to, slavery was bad, and yeah, slavery was bad. But we still have to learn from that and come forward.
I think there's
you can't discredit it and dismiss it like it never happened.
Perhaps is a concerted effort among some pockets where they're attempting to whitewash that part of the history. Particularly within the Commonwealth, as you would appreciate. Not only in Belize, but you find other countries where, while yes, slavery was the most horrible thing in humanity, we get that, we understand that, but it's part of the history of the people.
So we have to accept and commemorate
it becomes intrinsically, you can't really, take that away from what has happened.
Yeah.
And I think weighs heavily on how we view the Battle of St. George's Caye and Belize's colonial past, right? You speak to some people and they will completely write it off and say, well, we don't want to talk about that. But how do you not
talk about it? Right? Yeah.
It's part of who we are. It's part of what makes us who we are. It's part of our history. It's part of our culture.
But
when I was young, 10th of September was a day where everybody get unified. All right? It's not until they start to
it's polarizing.
Yes.
Yeah, today it is. But back then it was like our national day. Everybody come out and celebrate.
Yeah.
And they have done a disservice. They have just gotten rid of it.
I think it's one of those things where, like you rightfully said, we have to know our history so that we can understand how to talk about it. Because just like Emancipation, people still don't really want to talk about it. Right? People don't want to accept these certain tragic events that happen, and they don't want to commemorate it because they don't know how to talk about it because they don't know. It's the same thing with St. George's Caye Day. They don't know, and so we don't know how to discuss it. And you're right, these archival records and so forth that has been done. We know that it occurred. We know it's an event that happened in history. But perhaps the greater Belizean public isn't privy to this information to appreciate it.
Well, that's true. And so why has, here I go, I'm going to get in trouble again. Why hasn't the government printed the book that was produced from all the research done by the Archives Department and the University of Belize, along with the Spanish University, that gives the Spanish account of the battle? That research has been completed, done, dusted, ready for print. And it sits there, I don't know where, but it sits in somebody's closet, and they're refusing to print the book. Why?
Perhaps that's another project to talk about. Yeah.
Now they have Access 501, where it's supposed to be everything Belize. Especially for educational purposes. All right? Well, that's where that book needs to go. Access 501, St. George's Caye portal. Click on that. Get everything where you want.
Yeah, and then you can create.
All right? And you make your own opinion after that. All right?
But we want to talk about the events for tomorrow, right? Can
Turn the fire down.
We're going to bring it back full circle.
But you know, you want to know why I like the passion? Because that's the only way you get people interested in the conversation, right? But we do have to talk about the events tomorrow. Apart from the official state ceremony that's taking place in Belize City, I know you all are doing something on the island tomorrow as well.
Yes, we do. We're... We do have our own ceremony. We've been doing it, I don't know, well, since I've been chairman, we've had, I call it a remembrance ceremony. We go out there, we do a little roll call for everybody that's buried in our cemetery. We have a very historic cemetery, probably the oldest historic cemetery in the country. It's an archaeological reserve. And so we tolled the bell. There are about 21 people that were listed. In 1920, a guy named John Purcell Usher went out there, recorded all the epitaphs. And we have an old map that indicated about 21 burials in the cemetery. Dr. Garber's project from 2009 to 2019 uncovered over 70 burials. And he believes that there are a lot more. All right, because it's not until the 1800s they have this glorification period where they start to put tombs. Before that, it's just a leaf hole with some sand, right? So we tolled the bell for all of those people there. Tomorrow we're going to have Captain Nick Sanchez out there. He's going to do a Flowers Bank 14 roll call. We're also going to have Dr. Caye out there. He's going to, what's his title? Through Spanish Eyes, a sample of the manuscripts of the Battle of St. George's Caye, 1798. So we do a presentation about that as well. And so we just make it a full St. George's Caye day. We bring out all the residents. We invite a few people. Last year we had a really good one because we came across some research about Captain John Ralph Moss, who was the captain of the Merlin. Captain Moss came to Belize. He was the chief naval strategist for this battle. And after the battle, the ship stayed here for about a year. And in August of 1799, the ship was on its way back to Jamaica to get refitted. And Captain Moss passed away on the way over. And he was buried in Cayman in a place called Hogstye Bay. And there was a brass plaque for his coffin. And do I have it right here? Yes, I do.
He has his notes.
Yes, I do.
Picture of it.
So, you don't have that?
Oh, yeah, I can see it.
Okay.
Sacred in memory of Ralph Moss.
So it says, sacred to the memory of John Ralph Moss, commander
Can I see it? Yeah, can hold it to the camera. Yeah, so they can get
it. So it's sacred to the memory of Captain John Ralph Moss, commander of the sloop Merlin, and then it goes into Old English. But basically it states that he was here defending the settlement against a Spanish armada of 31 sloops and over 2,500 troops. That's what it basically states. And so Rear Admiral Michael Harris collects these brass plaques. And one of his colleagues in Canada bought this brass plaque at an auction in Canada. He sends it to Captain Rear Admiral Harris, who was in Belize in 1981 for independence on a British warship. So he went and he did a whole research. He got a master's thesis out of researching Captain John Ralph Moss. And last year, we took a replica of this plaque and mounted it in our cemetery, because I think this guy needs to be honored here in Belize. He was the chief naval strategist. We had Commander Bennett come out for that. We had a representative from the British High Commission. We had Dr. Melissa Badillo out there as well, and so that was part of our lease ceremony.
It sounds, I mean, I've only been to the island a couple of times, but I think my biggest disappointment is that it's not that open to the public. So are there any works into getting more persons to be able to access St. George's Caye, since it's such a historical
Well, St. George's
site?
Caye is not closed to the public. St. George's Caye is a village and open to the public. The problem is access.
Okay.
We used to be able to take the water taxi out there, but the price of fuel's gone through the roof, so the water taxis don't want to make that little diversion for just a few people. If you have enough people, they will do it. All right? And so the access to the island is kind of limited. You have to have your own boat or a friend that has a boat, or if you're staying at the resort, they'll come and pick you up and take you out there. But yeah, so St. George's Caye is open for the public. It's public island.
All right, we are wrapping up our conversation. Mr. Johnny, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And of course, we will be commemorating tomorrow as our national holiday. So September the 10th still lives on, right?
That's right. Hip, hip, hooray!
We do got to take a short break. And when we come back, it's all about the Belize City Council and their preparations. So we'll be right back with that segment. Don't go away.
And I'm a teacher, and I bank with Belize Bank Independence Branch. What I enjoy is the safety features that the app offers. I have a sense of not having to worry or be concerned about somebody finding my password and username to sign in the application because of the use of the one-time password. And another feature that I love, that I use the most, is how the app synchronizes with my fingerprint on my device. I enjoy the rapid and easy, seamless process to apply for loans through the Belize Bank, and I don't have to be having too much back and forth to visit or take time to visit the bank. They also start to offer the online applications through the app for loan applications, which I believe is very neat. I would definitely recommend Belize Bank to other teachers because one of all the features and advantages that the app offer, with these online that Belize Bank offered, is basically everything that you can do in the palm of your hand. So I would definitely recommend the bank to other teachers.
Remember, not all light bulbs are created equal. Our lighting department offers a wide assortment of light fixtures and accessories to suit your style. So stop in today and get the right illumination for your homecation. And don't forget your B-Box when you make a purchase. Benny's, quality and savings.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you've been waiting for. In this corner, we have the masters of limitless power and unbeatable connection. Pioneers of 4G LTE in Belize. It's the undefeated champion, Smart. And in the other corner, struggling to keep up, it's the other guy. Fight! Tired of getting blow after blow from a plan with the other guys? It's time to tap out and join the winning postpaid plan provider. Smart's postpaid plans are a total knockout to the competition, and they have once again powered up their postpaid plans. Sign up for one of Smart's boosted postpaid power plans today and experience the victory of superior service. Smart, bringing people together.
Welcome back to Open Your Eyes. Joining us for our second conversation, sticking to September celebrations and all things Belizean, we have the Belize City Council here to talk to us about the September celebrations that they're hosting in the city. We have with us Public Relations Officer Jasmine Drury. Good morning.
Good morning.
And Public Relations Representative Anthony Wagner. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Good morning.
All right, we just had a conversation about the Battle of St. George's Caye with Mr. John Cyril, and this is also an event that's celebrated in Belize City. Belize City Council is hosting these events tomorrow. Let's talk about that first.
Yeah, well, the Belize City Council is having the annual 10th Bram at the Lord Rayburn Plaza. And for those who don't know, that's the portion located behind the memorial stage. And we have live performances, we have food, drink, we have kids zone, we have everything for everyone. It's almost like a mini super sale, but like a September celebration type.
September themed super sale for the most part. So like Jasmine said, tomorrow is the 10th Bram, but we kind of start off with tonight. Today is the 9th of September. And as part of tradition, we have the fire engine parade tonight. So along with the fire department, the Belize City Council, there's a small competition going on. Everyone usually decorates their bikes. So we have 3 categories: juniors,
the Pee-wee, the
Pee-wee,
junior,
I'm sorry,
and
Pee-wee,
the
junior, and
yeah.
seniors. And for that competition, we will be announcing the winners tomorrow at the 10th Bram. Like Jasmine said, tomorrow for the 10th Bram, we have loads of entertainment, some giveaways. We have the kids zone where we're going to have some cotton candy and stuff like that for the kids. You know, lots and lots of food. We want to let everybody know that if you haven't signed up and you want to, you can still sign up to be a part of the 10th Bram. You know, all of our vendors, the vendor link is on the Belize City Council's page. So go ahead and check that out. You know, for tomorrow, we have performances by Coconut Boy, TR Shine, TLC Band. We have Super G, Yastalia, Consigo, Echo Middleton, Super Furia Band.
A deep lineup.
Deep lineup. You know, everything that everybody's used to, and they're looking forward to. So we're asking everybody to come out. It's going to be really fun time tomorrow at the Lord Rayburn Plaza.
Let's step back a bit and talk about the fire engine parade that's being held tonight, and of course the bike decorating competition. So we grew up on that. The fire engine parade was one of the attractions where when you hear those sirens, everybody runs up to Central American Boulevard from where we are.
You also had, I remember the Boulevard cyclists. Right, where you had everybody on their bikes. So they've taken the Boulevard cyclists now and said, okay, let's make something out of it. So it's you know, lights, flags, and everything. Decorate your bike. Grand prize for the seniors, $300. For the juniors, $200, and for the Pee-wee, $100. So best bike, you know, bring it out, make sure it's well decorated. You know, like we said, it's a part of the September tradition. Seeing those sirens, hearing the lights, it brings, cold seat over you.
And those kids are really serious about those bike decorations as
Yes,
well.
they are.
Go off of I think it was last year, there was one kid that the bike was lighting up in a particular pattern, red, white, and blue. It was so cool.
Yep, they put a lot of effort
Yes.
into it. So as a part of giving back, they're giving out a prize for it. Like we said, we're going to announce the winners tomorrow at the 10th Bram, along with all the entertainment that we do have. So we're looking forward to having everybody come out. Another all-inclusive free event, when it comes to Belize City Council, we're always about the people.
Yeah. Talk to us about the significance of the Belize City Council leading these kinds of initiatives. Most of the times when people think City Council, think about municipal governance and what have you, but you don't think about the social aspect of it in terms of these kinds of events that bring people together.
Yeah.
Well, when it comes to the Belize City Council, we're always keen on being a part of community engagement. And this is just our way of giving back to the people, showing them, we're here for them, and we just want everyone to be united, especially during September celebrations, considering it is such a patriotic month and everything. So that's just a big role for us, and we're very happy to partake and hold these events for our community.
Kudos, by the way, for this year's Carnival Road March. I think it was a success. The route was a success in terms of safety. There were no hiccups and so forth.
Yes.
That being said, I'm sure there was a lot of organization and collaboration that goes into creating these events. So let's talk about, specifically for tonight and tomorrow, perhaps some of the key stakeholders that the City Council has collaborated with to make these events possible.
Well, for this weekend, we have to give huge props to the Belize Police Department, right? They spearheaded everything when it came to the Carnival Road March, when it came to the route, making sure everything was safe there. On the City Council's part, we just made sure that the streets were closed off properly. Our enforcement officers were there to help with the flow. But huge big up to the Belize Police Department. When it comes to what we have going on, we work along with our enforcement department, along with the Belize Police Department, and that's how we kind of make everything happen. Meetings early, well in advance, to make sure lots of meetings, just to make sure that we're all on the same page. Because it's not an easy process getting these things done. But like you guys said, it seems seamless because we have a great team at the Belize City Council. Everybody that we do work with, really cooperative. Everything just comes together when it comes to us.
I think what also needs to be acknowledged is the cleanup effort afterwards.
Yeah.
Because
not even afterwards, before they were out,
Listen, our sanitation team at the Belize City Council, these guys go above and beyond.
They do.
Sometimes when we are in bed sleeping, they are out putting in work, cleaning up different hot spots. The Carnival route, they made sure that they were out there before the route.
They were there from
during
Juve.
Juve. I was out working Juve morning, and the sanitation team was right behind Juve. When the last reveler went past with their mud, they were right there with their garbage bags, their rakes, their shovels, making sure that the city streets were cleaned. So huge thanks to the sanitation department. Everybody out there putting in the work.
Wonderful. Let's talk about other events taking place then.
The next event that we do have, we have the 21st of September. That starts off with the Independence ceremony
at 8:30.
Yes.
And following the ceremony, we have the uniform parade at 9:30. With all the schools, I think it's pretty much burnt in our brains from high school. And so this year we have all the schools participating, but we're also reaching out to businesses to partake, because I'm not sure if you guys remember that we used to have so many floats in the 21st parade as well. We used to have like BL, BWS, all the major businesses within Belize City and from around the country and whatnot. And we just want to bring back that feel to the uniform parade. So we have put out on social media a form to sign up and partake in it. I think it's free to participate,
yes,
right?
We have the participating link on the Belize City Council's page, on their Facebook page, along with every other link when it comes to our events. So if you click on the link, it gives you all the information that you do need. Like Jasmine said, we're encouraging all business places to come out. We have all the schools that have signed up that are going to be a part of it, but we do have other businesses, like Jasmine said, you know, BEL, BWS, Digi, Smart. You guys can bring a float out. We have so many budding call centers out if you want to get your name out.
Belize,
you know,
transparent how to float in the
exactly
Carnival.
transparent how to float in the Carnival. I believe Globalcom partnered with Titans for the Carnival. They were out there. So anybody that would like to participate, you know, if it's a walking group, if you have a truck, a flatbed, whatever it is that you want to do, we have the link available for you guys to go ahead, sign up. And what we encourage everybody to do is like and follow the Belize City Council's page. We are always posting information there when it comes to updates, when it comes to closures, when it comes to our events that we have upcoming. All the links will be posted, and even with the 10th Bram, the link is still available, right? If you want to sign up, you can still sign up. All the pricing is there. You just go ahead, click, we'll give you your confirmation from there. Even if you show up tomorrow,
we'll make space.
We'll make
very
space.
last minute.
You woke up and you decided to be a part of it.
If you decided at hour 10:39, 10:40 that you wanted to come out at 11 o'clock and participate in the 10th round, we will find space for you. Right? Like the City Council's motto says, always vote the people. So we'll never turn anyone around, turn them away. If you want to come out and sell, by all means, just reach out to us. The WhatsApp number is 673-9055. Send us a WhatsApp message if you need information. We'll be more than happy to help you guys out.
And tonight, what time do the events begin?
7.
Yes.
7 till midnight?
Well, I think the engines go fast.
Well, the fire engine parade, it doesn't take too long, goes through the principal streets. If you guys...
It's a bit different because it starts at Marion Jones, comes Princess Margaret Drive into Kona Drive, into Buttonwood Bay, and then goes the highway to Benny's Roundabout, the Chetumal Street, and then it goes into Holy Emmanuel, which is a different route this year. And then it goes from there to Lacroix Boulevard into Mahogany Street, and from Mahogany you go Central American Boulevard. You go straight down, so it's back on Central American Boulevard. Thank you, love that. And then it goes into Farber's Road, then Yabra, East Collect Canal, back up Bernard Street. You do Youth for the Future, Bell China, then Douglas Jones into Bayman Avenue, 5th Street, C Street, 6th Street, Princess Margaret Drive, and back to Marion Jones.
That's a serious circuit.
It is, but it goes fast.
It does.
Wow. So, I mean...
Those who are going to be riding their bikes have to have strong legs to do that.
Yes, I was going to say, you have what, Kiwi Junior and Senior.
Yeah, Kiwi's like 6.
Well,
so
for the competition, you know, it's not necessarily them speeding through. It's just, you know, taking a nice slow ride along with the fire engines, displaying, you know, their flags, their rags, their lights and everything like that. And we do know that the judging station will be on Youth for the Future Drive at the traffic department. So make sure, you know...
They make sure they make it to there at least.
At least there. Make sure you keep the lights on for there, all right? Because the judging station is going to be there. Like we said, for the seniors, prize $300. For the juniors, $200, and Pee-wee gets $100. All right? So yeah, listen,
that's a long road though. 7 p.m. to
I would say maybe 8:39.
Yeah, about 8:30. We're trying to, you know, they're trying to make sure that they go across all the city streets. Last year was a little bit different. Some people felt that they were left out. You know, so they revamped and they made sure that they went all across the city to make sure everybody is included this time.
Very, very nice. And in terms of the September 21st events?
The 21st, like Jasmine said, we have the ceremony. After the ceremony, that leads into the uniform parade where we're inviting businesses out if they want to go ahead and participate. And that all culminates with the 21st Bash at the Digi Park.
Okay. So it starts at 1.
Yeah, that starts at 1 o'clock. And with that one, there's a huge lineup also. We have Sweet Pain, Chico Ramos, Cocono Boy, Nello Player, Next Gen Band. One of my favorite artists, C Wills. Listen, nothing like that Paranda. When he starts up, man, it's just amazing. We're also gonna have B Multicultural Band, Kenny Gladden and New Creations, all backed by Blue Steel Songs. So the streets are gonna be closed from 8 a.m. until 10 p.m. For that day. So it's gonna be all day. We're gonna be out there. So 21st, the 10th. We're ready. I hope the people are ready.
Are you ready?
Are you guys ready?
Trust me, I think Belizeans only need a few days in between just to catch up back past some sleep.
Not even a few days. Hours. Oh, I watched the people this weekend party for Carnival, and then we did a Martin's Fest yesterday.
Juve
Carnival and Martin's Fest.
Yeah, so
and then they're ready mentally for tomorrow. Tonight and tomorrow.
That's right. I think Belizeans hit that reserve battery 1st of September.
Yeah,
just a little bit.
Nice.
But as we wrap up this segment, we want to say thank you to the Belize City Council. Any final words for our viewers, perhaps some security safety measures before they go out tonight and tomorrow?
Well, I would say, guys, just be safe. You know, a lot of things will be happening as well as the parade moving fast. We'll also have enforcement officer out everywhere, so we will ensure that everything is together. And you know, in regards to the events, just follow us on Facebook, keep up to date with our posts, because we're always posting it, so we're very live. And you know, come out, have fun. It's a month for celebration, and you know, just let us celebrate Belize at 43. I mean, 43 is
proud and free.
Proud and free.
We're at the middle age.
Middle age.
I imagine 50. So yes, come out with your family, have fun, and you know, it's a family fun event. And we can't wait to see you, and hope that you all enjoyed the live performances, of course. I know everybody wanted Sweet Pain, but you know, you have to give it some time. And yeah, we just hope that you all enjoy these events as much as we do, and we're doing it all for you.
Most definitely. What I'd like to leave everybody with is pretty much what Mayor Bernard Wagner would say. Let's practice civic pride, right? We are in the month of September. A lot of beautiful decorations out right now. We have the overpass lit, blue, white, and red. So guys, go out, take your pictures, you know, take care of everything that we do have out there, you know, and show that we care about our country, and that's what I'd like to leave with. You know, as we say at the Belize City Council, we're always about the people, but the people have to be about we too. You know, be about ourselves. Right? Yeah. Seriously, guys, we got to take care of our country.
Wonderful, Jasmine, Anthony. Thank you guys so much for coming in this morning.
Thank you guys.
And best of luck with these events. I hope you'll get some rest.
We'll
Thanks.
see.
I need it. We got to take another break, and when we come back, it's all about BTB's World Tourism Day. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
And I work at UMAL. 100% I will recommend Belize Bank mobile banking to everyone because it saves time, money, and gas price, because gas price is high right now. Belize Bank mobile banking just make life easier.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you've been waiting for. In this corner, we have the masters of limitless power and unbeatable connections, pioneers of 4G LTE in Belize. It's the undefeated champion, Smart. And in the other corner, struggling to keep up, it's the other guy. Fight! Tired of getting blow after blow from a plan with the other guys? It's time to tap out and join the winning postpaid plan provider. Smart's postpaid plans are a total knockout to the competition, and they have once again powered up their postpaid plans. Sign up for one of Smart's boosted postpaid power plans today and experience the victory of superior service. Smart, bringing people together.
Wake up! Now which cheese you think you may eat all the while? Caye cheese with the blue rooster on the label is the traditional and the real deal. The original Dutch, redback or hard cheese in a Belize. Be aware! Check your label and make sure it is in English and for the Belize market. Caye cheese with the blue rooster. The real deal. Santiago Castillo Limited, supporting and building our Belizean community for 95 years and counting.
Caye Edam Dutch cheese, aged and tropicalized, the best formula for the Belize market, exclusively distributed by Santiago Castillo Limited.
Are back joining us for our third and final conversation. It's all about the Belizean Traveler Campaign and the World Tourism Day contest. On set we have Miss Marian Alamia, and she is the Public Relations Coordinator at BTB. And next to her we have Miss Sitna Bliss, and she is the Community Relations Coordinator at BTB. Ladies, good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
So let's first highlight the Belizean Traveler Campaign, and then we'll move on to the contest, right? Let's start with you, Marian.
Belizean Traveler.
Belizean Traveler.
So basically, our Belizean Traveler Campaign promotes local tourism. We know that with Travel Belize, that promotes like international tourism within Belize, right? So what Belizean Traveler does is just encourage our locals to take advantage of local deals that we work with our stakeholders, both hotel and tour operators, to just implement so that our locals can also have the experience and the adventures that whatever guest is coming has as well. Yeah. So right now we're really pushing for our stakeholders to promote specials in September and October. We know that as the summer break dwindles with like students going back to school, it's also a more slower time for international tourism.
Right.
So we're still very much promoting like local tourism within Belize, and especially now that we're in the celebratory month and we have a little bit more longer weekends, we're very much pushing and hoping that our stakeholders collaborate with us to have more local specials. And we're also doing how would I put it? Like we're doing initiatives like this to just further promote what specials are available, as well as encourage our local people to take advantage of the deals.
Do you see our local tourism progressing? And I'm asking this in the sense of, because most of the times, like you rightfully mentioned, we don't necessarily get the deals that our foreign tourists would get. We don't travel the country like we should. So do you see that progressing with the Belizean Traveler campaign?
Honestly, I do. I started working at BTB like over a year ago, and this was a much more smaller scale campaign, and we really have been trying our best to really make it into something bigger instead of just being a shorter time span, which is maybe in the off-season months. We're trying to have it be like a year-long campaign. And so we're really amping up our efforts in doing more collaborative efforts with our stakeholders, going into their, and these are just some of the initiatives that we have planned, right? So going to these stakeholders and having little video content highlighting what Belizeans are getting with these deals that are accessible to them. We're doing more collaborative efforts like familiarity trips, where Belizean Traveler as well as our marketing team are able to build a more collaborative effort and bond to see what exactly are we offering to these locals. If we're going on the morning shows, if we're doing our campaigns, we need to have that experience of what these resorts, hotels, tour operators are offering, so that we're better able to really promote it more. We're also collaborating more with like giveaways. We do have many hotels and resorts who have 50% off year-round. So these hotels, they do have these specials, but they're not as advertised enough, you know? So that's exactly where we come in, where we literally provide free advertisement, free promotion. We are revamping our websites. We're revamping our social media platforms to have it be more community-friendly, more user-friendly, even, or you'd say like our social media, we're trying to interact more with our followers, asking them what would they like to see more. Do you want to see more hidden gems? Do you want to see more places that aren't necessarily popular or accessible that the locals are more aware of?
Yeah.
So even when we're doing more trips out of the office, we're planning to tap into like our little villages and doing little interviews with our residents to see, okay, what would you recommend a local coming to your village, what would you recommend them to like see or take advantage of? Maybe the hot spots, the local little restaurants or little stalls. And so it's things like that that we're really trying to amp up our efforts. I do know that Belizeans are taking more advantage of these offers. I see stakeholders taking more advantage. When I had just started, many were still unaware of what Belizean Traveler was, and now we have them reaching out to us. Whether like even over the weekend, I had many people reaching out to the Belizean Traveler platform saying, I came across or I heard your promotion, how can I get my business up? I know we get phone calls at work, we get emails. So like I think at one point we had over 50 plus specials on the website. Of course, as you go up there might be less because it's automatic, where when the deadline comes, the special is removed.
Yeah.
So you'll have where we had, I think as they come in, I think one day I uploaded about 20 plus specials that particular day.
Okay, so businesses will reach out to you and say we're having a promotion and so
Yes.
forth. I think, well, I'm not sure if you want to clarify, but in terms of the way you're gauging what locals want to do, how do locals want to travel in Belize? Do we want the same things that the foreign tourists want? Do we want this adventurous, culture-centric experience? What is it that locals are looking for?
And that's the thing, because that's still something that we're pretty much, as we try to engage more with them, that's the reason why we do a lot more. We're planning to do a lot more polls, a lot more interactive stories where we're asking them, what exactly do you want? How do you want to travel? Do you want to travel budget friendly? Do you want the high end plus you'd say the more nature? Like for me, I prefer jungle. You have people who prefer the islands. So based on what those responses are, we're able to more like plan or curtail like specials for them, you know.
Wonderful. Let's get into the World Tourism Day. And first, before we get into the contest, what does that signify, and how is BTB celebrating?
So World Tourism Day is on September 27th this year. The theme this year is Tourism and Peace, and so we've created a mobile photo contest for tertiary level students. And what it is just hand in hand with Belizean Traveler. We're trying to get the locals to get engaged.
Yeah.
And so we want you to go out there, grab your phone, snap a picture, and then send it to us. But it's gonna be pretty much curated for cultural interactions, natural serenity, cultural and historical landmarks, peaceful coexistence between different cultures. Like if these are things that you can naturally see around your area, around the country, take a picture and then send it to us.
How does this all come together to promote Belize as a tourist destination for persons who are outside of the country and would be considering Belize as perhaps a country that they would want to visit on their bucket list?
The thing is that we're already recognized as that worldwide. We've been recognized, we've been being recognized, we've been being published all year. So what we're really trying to focus on is local tourism to get that traction there, because we've seen the international visitors being increased month by month. We've been having more and more, which is great. We're still going to be focusing on that no matter what. We're still going to market the country in that way. However, we want to increase local tourism and get that conversation going.
What has been perhaps your observation in terms of trying to mobilize Belizeans to travel within the country and spend their money here? I ask because I would want to think that top of mind for many people is I could go to Chatamal,
It's cheap.
I could fly to Miami, I could go anywhere else other than the country where I'm from. I think it's one of those things where you talk to a lot of Belizeans and that's perhaps the first thing that comes to mind.
Like for me, I've done all the options that you've listed, but realistically, if I think about a weekend in Chatamal versus a weekend going to the islands, or like my birthday just passed, I went waterfall rappelling.
Nice.
I was in Hopkins, so I had that Hopkins experience, and then I also went glamping at the Sleeping Giant, their new glamping experience, right? I wouldn't have been able to get that in Chatamal. What would I have gotten? The heat, probably walk through the mall, have some food, watch a movie, chill at the hotel. Yes, maybe engage in their nightlife or something. That's not necessarily me. But the experience that I had just this past weekend, hiking an hour, going up to 1,000 feet waterfall and rappelling down was extremely wild of me, but it was an experience that I wouldn't have given up. And then glamping in the rainforest, having complete access to the Siboon River, canoeing at 6:30 in the morning and tipping over in the ice cold river. Like, those are some experiences that I wouldn't trade for the world. And I think that's what set Belize apart, because we have an amazing diversity when it comes to the islands, when it comes to coastal experiences, inland experiences, and I think that's what sets us apart from going to Miami, going to Chatamal, you know.
I was in line for a bus a few months ago, and we're having this, well, I was overhearing these persons having this conversation about the fact that this all sounds great. This is amazing. That's a wonderful experience. That's a wonderful tour package that is not affordable.
Right now, zip lining is about $56 Belize per person at Bokawina. I know we also have a special for rappelling, which I believe is 100. I don't exactly recall the exact price, but I believe it's like $175 per person. And then you also have more smaller scale rappelling. That was like the tallest waterfall that you can hike, so you know the price increases. But I know they have the Bokawina waterfall, which I believe is about $75 or something. So realistically, I believe we all have this expectation that, oh, traveling in Belize or taking advantage of these tours or these experiences are expensive. But are we really taking the time to see what the actual costs are? And that's what the difference is. We go, or we operate from the typical mindset that we have, oh, I don't have the money for that. But when you look at the deals, the 50% off, the 30% off, and really and truly, because this is like the slower seasons for these international tourism, we really have amazing deals accessible to our Belizeans. It's just going on the Belizean Traveler website, going on the social media pages, reaching out to these hotels and really checking in.
Doing the work,
yeah.
is what you're saying. Do the work to be
exactly,
able to
and those are some of the ways that we're planning to revamp the website. We want to be able to have like mini itineraries where it's very budget friendly. You know what? If you have a budget of so and so, maybe you can have a scale where Belizeans can say this is the average that I would like to spend, and then you have activities and maybe hotels that come up in that price range in a specific location that you're looking for.
So if I am a business that would like to be a part of this Belizean Traveler campaign, how can I reach out to you?
Well, they can, honestly, we do send what we call e-blast. We have all of our stakeholders' information in like a system where we draft this, just like a form saying this is what we're doing. These are the ways that we've been promoting Belizean Traveler over the last few months. These are ways we would like to collaborate more. If you have a special, if you would want to join in on the Belizean Traveler campaign, fill out this form and that form automatically comes to us, and I receive that and I upload all of your specials to the website. Of course, if these stakeholders would prefer, they also have access to this. I would create the account, and I can send them the account details, and they can, whenever they have any special, they can do it themselves. You know, we had the deadline set for August 31st, but of course it's still very much open. We're still encouraging our stakeholders, if they have any specials, to go ahead and send it to us. If you're not seeing that e-blast, you can always send us an email with your specials at localdeals@BelizeTourismBoard.org, or you can contact us and I can definitely send you whatever information you need to send that special back to us, you know.
So let's go back a bit to World Tourism Day and its observance later this month. What is the significance of commemorating World Tourism Day for the average Belizean in the context of Belize being a prime destination within this region?
So we are actually hosting the first ever World Sustainable Travel and Hospitality Awards on September 27th. So it's going to be a very busy day for us, because we're going to be announcing the winner for the mobile photo contest on that day as well. The deadline for your submissions is September 16th. So we're trying to get everything shortlisted by then. We have guest judges that are going to be Aquila Flores and Ben Garcia that are going to be hosting the live webinar on September 27th. This is important for us because Belizean travelers should get involved and be a part of the conversation already. And I feel like tertiary level students don't really have the chance to get involved in that. So we're opening this door for them. This is an opportunity for them to get active and get on their phones. And I feel like I take pretty good pictures with my phone. So I'm hoping that they get involved as well. And also they're gonna be having 2 categories. So Tourism for Peace BZ winner is going to win a GoPro 11 and $500 cash that I think could come real in handy for when you're starting your semester. You know, you have a lot of expenses. And also we're gonna have the most unique photo, and they're gonna get a GoPro 11 as well and $250 cash prize.
It's the most unique photo.
So what does that mean? So most unique photo is the person we're thinking that they're going to create and give us a submission that makes you realize that the theme of tourism and peace is being portrayed. For sure, as you look at the picture, you know that this is like, okay, this is checking all the boxes of peaceful coexistence, of this, of that, you know. So we're trying to see what the tertiary level students will come up with. We don't want to limit them to something, so we're trying to just leave it up to them. And Ben and Aquila have enough experience to let us know what they would believe is the most unique photo.
But how you know if it's a tertiary level student? What if I...
Okay, so upon their submission, they should submit a picture, the original and the raw photo. So I mean the raw photo and the edited photo. So the edited photo should have no AI. It's limited to color correction and cropping. So once they do that submission, then they send in a written description of why they feel that their picture matches the theme with between 100 and 150 words.
Okay.
And then also they have to send a copy of their student ID. So that is how we get.
Okay. Darn it.
Yeah.
And you said deadline ends
September 16th.
September 16th. And how do they send these photos to you?
Through email. So pr@belizetourismboard.org.
Wonderful, ladies. We are wrapping up our segment this morning. Final words to our viewers?
Just to take advantage of the local specials that are available to our locals, as well as traveling is a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and you don't necessarily have to go out of Belize to gain that. So I would really encourage them to take advantage of these local deals. I know when it isn't accessible to us, we have a lot to say about it. So now that we really have been doing all it takes to have more and more deals accessible, I'm really encouraging them to take advantage of what is being offered.
Wonderful. Thank you, ladies, so much for joining us this morning, and happy World Tourism Day on the 27th of September. We're going to take another quick break, and when we come back, we'll be wrapping things up. Don't go away.
Unwrap the joy of crystal clear picture and sound from Iowa, the brand that offers you affordability and exceptional quality. Iowa has a wide range of exceptional products to choose from, such as TVs, speakers, headphones, home appliances, and much more at affordable prices that won't break the bank. Enhance your audio-visual entertainment experience with Iowa, and for your convenience, parts are readily available in country for hassle-free maintenance. You can find Iowa products at your local electronics store countrywide. Choose Iowa, the best in home entertainment and household appliances.
I'm connected. Yo.
I'm connected.
We're connected.
Create the perfect broadband bundle that fits your style with Smart Connect. With the Junior Bundle, get 50% off your national calls and up to 6 gigabytes of data at no extra cost. Get postpaid added on for an additional cost of only $25 with the Prime Bundle. Stay connected with unlimited smart-to-smart calls plus 6,300 megabytes of data and free international minutes. For the family, get the Binge Watchers bundle with Netflix add-on for only $28.13 more. This bundle gives you 4 profiles with unlimited streaming on multiple devices. Visit a showroom near you to sign up and personalize your own bundle combination with Smart Connect. Smart, bringing people together.
My name is Leomar Langzert, and I'm a teacher, and I bank with Belize Bank Independence Branch. What I enjoy is the safety features that the app offers. I have a sense of not having to worry or be concerned about somebody finding my password and username to sign in the application because of the use of the one-time password. And another feature that I love, that I use the most, is how the app synchronizes with my fingerprint on my device. I enjoy the rapid and easy, seamless process to apply for loans through the Belize Bank, and I don't have to be having too much back and forth to visit or take time to visit the bank. They also start to offer the online applications through the app for loan applications, which I believe is very neat. I would definitely recommend Belize Bank to other teachers because one of all the features and advantages that the app offer. With these online that Belize Bank offered is basically everything that you can do in the palm of your hand. So I would definitely recommend the bank to other teachers.
remember, not all light bulbs are created equal. Our lighting department offers a wide assortment of light fixtures and accessories to suit your style. So stop in today and get the right illumination for your homecation. And don't forget your B-Box when you make a purchase. Benny's, quality and savings.
Welcome back to Open Your Eyes. We are wrapping up our Monday morning show, and we would like to say a big thank you to all of our guests for coming in. Tomorrow is September 10th. It is the official public and bank holiday commemorating the Battle of St. George's Caye Day. And so we want to say a big thank you to John Cyril for dropping by and giving us a little tidbit history on that, as well as the Belize City Council for telling us what their plans are for the September celebrations month. Thank you so much to the BTB for coming in and talking about the Belizean Traveler Campaign, as well as World Tourism Day. And thank you so much to our viewers for tuning in every morning and joining us here on Open Your Eyes. If it is your birthday today, happy birthday to you. It is September 9th. Happy birthday from all of us here at Channel 5 and OYE. And if you have a birthday shout out or just a question or a comment, drop us a line right here at oye@channel5belize.com. You can also catch our live stream on Facebook every day at Open Your Eyes BZ on Facebook, and check out our highlights on Instagram at OYE Belize. Do us a favor and join us again on Wednesday when you open your eyes
to start your morning right.
Be sure to keep your eyes, your minds,
and your hearts open.
We'll see you soon, Belize. Have a safe and enjoyable holiday tomorrow. Bye.
Was brought to you by Smart, bringing people together, and the Belize Bank, our country, your bank.